Hey, Kevin here, top one financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Today, I want to give you the best stock that I think new investors should go for. I want to give you some caveats as to why that's the case, what you need to expect, and if you're brand new, again, why I'm picking this particular company. And I'm also going to give you an ETF as well. But before I do, boy, I be telling y'all. So if you've been following over the last, I would say 5 days, if you've been checking me out on Instagram, which you should be doing, and on public, which you should be doing, uh, you've been missing out on some gems. So rewind yesterday on Instagram. And I'll pull up the post here, but on Instagram yesterday, I told you guys that it's around time. It's the quarter's over now. It's March 31st. It's time to evaluate some of your investments and rotate out of some things. But in doing that, I said I was going to keep my legacy companies, right? So the companies that, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, those were the three that I mentioned. I said, I'm gonna hold on to those because they're not going anywhere, right? Those were my exact words. I'm pulling it up on Instagram now so I can read it verbatim, not the whole post. It's the second little line. You can go to Instagram right now, or after the video, you can go to Instagram. So in addition to the stocks I mentioned in the videos from yesterday, if you watched it, um, I'll be keeping most of my bellwether tech stocks like Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft. Those for me aren't going anywhere. Guess what? Today, Microsoft get a $21.9 billion government contract to make some virtual reality headsets. Whatever, right? $21 billion to one company. That's a huge, huge deal for Microsoft. Whether or not it'll pop between now and 10 years from now, we pretty much know it's going to go up, right? It is not the only contract they're ever going to get. And they're still good at what they do. They jumped 75% or so last year. And Microsoft is one of those legacy names. For 30 plus years, they have been a solid place to invest. So even though they haven't been the hottest name in 2021 so far, it's only 90 days in, it's only 3 months in, I'm not going to get rid of them. And it's for stuff like this. And this is the exact same thing I told you on Instagram just yesterday. Okay, they don't put your boy in the top 100 for nothing. I'm not a best-selling author for nothing, right? They don't put your boy in top Instagram people to follow in finance for no reason. So when I tell you to share the video, you should share the video. Well, I tell you to click the link and sign up for stuff, you might want to do that. And speaking of that, make sure that you hit the link and sign up for the free email list. It's all free. So click that. You'll be on the email list, and I send out gems like this all the time. All right, so that's one of the big things. $21.9 billion going to Microsoft. The other big thing, we had Joe Biden's plan for infrastructure. That's being rolled out. $2 trillion is what he says. We'll see. It's a whole bunch of other stuff that has to go into that. And like I said yesterday, and like I've been saying for the last 2 days or so, you might want to be looking at infrastructure type stocks. So the material stocks, the Caterpillars, the John Deere's, you want to keep an eye on that. That could be where things are going. If you're more interested in that and you want to look more into it, check out yesterday's video, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I did an entire breakdown on those. Someone had brought up in the comments yesterday to do a John Deere versus Caterpillar. That sounds fun. So I'll go and I think that'd be like one of the first ones I want to do on that particular topic. And lastly, Goldman Sachs. This all happened in one day. Goldman Sachs says they are going to now allow some of their investors, they're going to like acquire Bitcoin and start to allow their investors to buy into it. Didn't I just tell y'all about Goldman Sachs the other day? I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but I've been saying banks, infrastructure stocks, right? I told you about JP Morgan, I told you about smaller regional banks, and I said Goldman Sachs was something I have my eye on. I actually jumped into it later earlier today. Again, Goldman Sachs, told y'all about, right? Told you about bank stocks in general, but I definitely told you about Goldman Sachs. I definitely sat here and told y'all about how I'm still holding on and DCAing, dollar cost averaging, into stuff like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google as well. Y'all know where I stand on Google. So I've been investing in them this whole time. I told you it wasn't time to just get off of those just because they haven't had, a stellar 3 months, a stellar quarter. Those were legacy names. I'm telling you where the market and the economy are going. You might want to consider doing your own research and see if you want to get in line or not. So we'll still see. There's a lot of stuff to go on with the infrastructure play. We'll talk more about Caterpillar, John Deere, and some of the others. All right, now all that aside, because I had to say it, let's go ahead and get into the best stock for new investors, and I'll give you an index fund as well. So the best stock for new investors, and this is actually pretty easy, is Disney. Is Disney flat out based on what we know about Disney right now and where we expect Disney to go in the future. So the reason why I'm picking Disney as the if you had to pick one and you've just started investing, you've never invested before, why I'm saying Disney I think is the best one for you is because it's a company you can understand. A lot of people will tell you, "Oh, you need to go get Bitcoin. You need to go get some company you never heard of. You need to go get Tesla." All that stuff, that's fine, right? But do you understand the business? I don't think a brand new investor who has never invested before should jump into Bitcoin. Do I think Bitcoin is worth it? Do I think Bitcoin is going to grow? Yes, I do. But if Bitcoin starts to fall off the map tomorrow, you're not going to know why. If someone were to ask you what is blockchain technology, you're not going to know what that is. And you're not going to understand why it's up or why it's down. That's a big thing for you as an investor to understand. Because if you don't understand it and something drops and you don't know what's going on and you don't understand why it's doing what it's doing, you're going to hop out, you're going to leave, you're going to lose money. And when it shoots back up, you're going to, hey, what happened? And you're going to miss the boat. I don't want you to do that. So I'm not saying don't invest in Bitcoin. I'm saying for someone who's brand new, you want to understand what you're investing in. I think Disney is one of the easiest places to really understand what they do. You have heard about ESPN. They broadcast video games. They do that too, but they broadcast video broadcast for sports. So sports shows, live sports. They got Disneyland. They own ABC. They got Disney Plus. That ain't everything they do, but you pretty much get movies, more they own Marvel, they own Star Wars. Like that's stuff you have at least seen or experienced, and you get. Not only that, the stock was up more than 68% over the last 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. You pull this up, just double check. I'm sorry, 48%, still really good. 48% over the last 6 months. So 48% over the last 6 months. I mean, that's really good. It's a company you understand. They do pay decent dividends, if I'm not mistaken. You know what that is, right? It's something that's simple. Now I could go with Nike. Nike didn't make as much as Disney, but either one of those I think is good because you can understand it. If you can understand it, you can understand why you want to hold or why you don't want to hold. Again, I'm leaning with Disney because Disney Plus has so much more potential than just shoes, right? But that's where you want to go if you are a new investor. Yes, you could have gone with a tech company or a straight tech company, but that's all they do, like a Microsoft or a Google or something like that. You are more than welcome to do that, except that when you go and look at the description for companies like Microsoft and Salesforce and others, and they say we are a technology company that makes the world better with cloud computing and all this other kind of stuff. A lot of people don't really know what that is. Outside of Microsoft computers, do you really understand what that government contract was about? I still got to read it, right? I can't sit here and tell you the particulars of cloud computing. A big part of Amazon's business isn't just Amazon.com, it's their AWS web services. Do you understand how that works? Do you understand their government contract situation? Some do, some don't. So I'd rather you say, look, I know what this is. I understand why it's up. I understand why it's down. And I'm going to hold on to it. So if that, and it don't have to be your only stock, right? I don't think you just get one and call it a day. But if you were going to start with one, I would say Disney would be one of the best ones to start with. On top of it's something that's kind of moving in the right direction and going up right now. So that's my number one pick. If you are brand new, I think Disney is very good for you. Now, last thing I would say is you also, if you're new, I would also consider getting an index fund. The best, a lot of these are similar. So the best ones that are out there, one of the easiest ones is SPY. That is the S&P 500. It invests in the top 500 companies, Disney being one of those. It's a very easy set and forget it thing that you just buy and you just stick with, and you really don't have to make any changes. That's why I like it. And not only that, it's really diversified. A lot of people will ask themselves, well, if I get in here, like when do I sell? How do I know how long to hold it? How do I know when it's too late? All that kind of stuff. If you have an index fund like SPY, it's not the only one out there. But if you have one like that, it's not something that you sell. You hold on to it and you really just keep investing, and it does well for you over time. So I don't sell it until I like retire, or I don't sell it until I'm ready to use the money for something. It's not short term. Neither of these I think are short term. But I definitely don't think that SPY is short term. Is a long term thing that for myself, for my 401k, for my kids, for my wife, everybody should have some money in an index fund. It's easy because it's less stressful. I just put money into it. It's gonna make on average, and it's done this all the way back like 1950 and even beyond then. It's gonna get you anywhere between 7 to 10% on average every year. On average, not every single year. When you average it out, you're gonna be anywhere between 7 to 10%. That ain't bad. That ain't bad for something you don't have to stress about. It's something that you don't have to really do a whole lot of. You just get it, you put money in it, and you leave it alone. Keyword: leave it alone, and you're going to be fine. So those are my thoughts. Disney, if you're looking for just one stock to start and you're brand new. SPY, if and you can do both of these at the same time. SPY, if you want something that's very hands off, very low stress, you just keep putting money in it, and the longer you invest, the better off you will be. All right, so that is it for me. Make sure that you stay tuned, hit the subscribe buttons, hit the share buttons. You definitely hit the share button, and most importantly, make sure you click the link above to join the watch list, to join the email list, so you can get emails and learn about what goes on in the market. I already don't send more than like 2 emails a week, and that's if that, because I'm busy with the book release, which you will learn a whole lot more about here in the next few weeks. All right, so now that is actually it for me. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.